Hi guys, my name is Anna and I'm an artist, but today I do want to talk about, I would say, even like my role model, because he's definitely a very interesting man to me. I'm gonna talk about Leonardo da Vinci. He's not just a historical figure to me, he's a phenomenon. I do still remember the moment when I became very obsessed with him. I was 14 years old and I read a book by Leonard Schleins. I do hope that I pronounced his name right because, so the book is Leonardo's brain, and trust me, his brain definitely deserves books, even like movies. I don't know, a few episodes on Netflix. Honestly, I can't stop thinking about him from that moment. Like, sometimes I can't even sleep at night. And my sister definitely knows that if I start talking about him, it could last for hours. One of the interesting facts about Leonardo, he could write with both hands and even mirrored the handwriting. He could write backwards, and his handwriting was still the same. Like, you couldn't even really tell if he would write something with the left hand or with the right hand. Can you imagine having the brain so flexible to be able to write something like backwards and basically reverse the language and still have the same handwriting? While he was living in Milan, he was working on creating an enormous sized horse statue, and while he was creating something like this project that could take probably sometimes a lifetime for an ordinary person, he also managed to travel to different cities. And back then, in 15th century, obviously traveling wasn't that easy like nowadays. But his curiosity didn't stop at that. He was also interested in so many different fields. I'm gonna use my notes to read, so I wouldn't miss anything. So, he was interested in engineering. He was designing machines or war flying devices and even like early concepts of the helicopter. He was interested in architecture. He was imagining futuristic cities with better sanitation and organization. And also, he was interested in botany and geology. He was studying like rocks, plants, the rivers with scientist's eye. He was also interested in anatomy. He dissected corpses to study the human body in detail. Um, at a time when people didn't know about preservatives like formalin, so he had to work really quickly. And I think these studies made him one of the most curious anatomists of his era for sure. Also, he was interested in cartography. He created maps that were unbelievably detailed for his time. So, for the record, his maps of cities and landscapes were so precise that centuries later, modern scientists recognized their accuracy. Um, He also made one of the most detailed observations of birds' flight. Like, obviously. He even wrote books of fables, riddles, jokes, and predictions. He also was describing places that he never visited before. He just imagined like he was there. So basically, Leonardo's notebooks were full of experiments, paintings, and imagination. The Venetians asked him for help in defending the city against the Turks, and what was his plan? To construct dams around Venice. So if the enemy entered, destroy them by like flooding the invaders. It was a brilliant idea, but a bit impossible to carry out at the time. But he wasn't like cold-hearted person. He wasn't just like a cold scientist or painter. He was very kind person. He he also was a vegetarian, by the way, for those days in 15th century in Italy. Being a vegetarian, it's like something like mind-blowing, to be honest. He also sometimes would go to like marketplaces to buy like birds in the cages to just set them free. Honestly, every time when I think about Leonardo da Vinci, I think about the fact that he never limited himself, like never ever. He was creating, he was exploring, he was so obsessed with his life. He was so obsessed with the point of being alive and being able to explore everything around him, to use his brain on its maximum. Maybe not even the maximum. Honestly, deep down, I always wanted to be one of those people who just like, who don't limit themselves, who do not stuck in just one field, because I've heard so often that if you want to be famous, or at least if you want to get somewhere in your life, you have to be stick only in one field. That's such a bullshit to me. Like, honestly, that's not a point of being alive for me. The point of being alive is exploring this world and being able to do this and expressing yourself and creating. And when you trying to stick only to one niche, only to like one field, only one to one style or whatever, that's so boring to me, honestly. And I think that's why, for example, on TikTok or Instagram, I do not post only like my abstract painting. I do also post photography, and those fields are quite different, but I do not want to choose between them because it's so boring to me. That's not who I am. And maybe in a few days I will decide to completely change my the whole like personality, and that's totally fine. Or even like on YouTube at this channel, I posted like vlogs, I posted like some talkative videos, and I do not want to think about like what should I post next. I do want to post everything that comes to my mind, and that's why I decided to record this video. Leonardo is definitely like my role model, and I always gonna be obsessed with people like Leonardo. So I do hope that you like this video, and I do hope that this story kind of like inspired you to create and to explore this world more. So yes, thank you for watching, and see you in the next videos.